As a manager, the number one reason I see people on my team struggle is that they fundamentally do not understand the problem they are being tasked to solve. They are wasting time, going in the wrong direction, or spending too much time on surface level work. They are doing an understandable thing. They are doing the thing that was being literally asked of them, but they are not doing the thing that actually needs to be done. Instead, what I want to see, especially in those leadership roles, is a deeper, more fundamental understanding of the problem. The why we're doing this work at all. This is also called first principles thinking, but it's just a fancy way of demanding leaders keep digging into the why until there are no more why questions to be asked. In a perfect world, everyone would be able to state their needs clearly, upfront, without further prompting. In the real world, executives and decision makers are often surprisingly terrible at this. They have a habit of presenting solutions they want when really they are asking for problems to be solved. Your job is to get to the heart of the problem to make every other part of decision making better. Let's take this hypothetical example of an exec asking for a customer relationship management tool, or a CRM. This seems like a straightforward decision or recommendation they're asking you to make. But there is so much more to the request. If you ask more why questions, why do we need a new CRM? To help the revenue team be more efficient? What makes you think the revenue team isn't efficient? What do you mean you don't know what your metrics are? Why are the lack of metrics hurting your outcomes? And what would good look like? And so on and so on. For most issues, there are dozens of different ways to solve a problem. In this example, there are different tools and configurations and implementations. These why questions can be the difference between a decent recommendation and a great one. That's nice to a wow, you read my mind. If this first principles thinking is so critical, why are people so hesitant to lean into it? This is where our goblins become important. For some people, it's the arrogance of knowledge. They have a solution in mind, and maybe they're rushing through something. Instead of interrogating their ideas, they just go. This is honestly not that common, but I do see it happen. But far more common are people held back by their fear-based goblins. People are so scared to ask probing questions. They are worried that their clarifying questions are dumb, and hence they will look dumb. Or they are worried that by asking too many questions, they will be annoying the execs and decision makers who are busy. But I cannot emphasize enough how flawed this thinking is. By holding back on your questions up front, you are creating a world of pain in the future. You save yourself the embarrassment and stress of conversation and possibly confrontation up front, but when you end up with mediocre results at the end, trust me that the execs will be doubting your judgment and will be annoyed downstream too. The way out are some tweaks to your mindset. The first is just to listen to your spidey sense. If something being asked of you doesn't match up with your understanding of how things work, trust that instinct. Keep clarifying until that tension is relieved. And if your fear is rooted in that instinct to not be annoying, then there is a way to practice questions themselves. Interrogations are indeed annoying, but collaboration and inquisitiveness never are. If you're not comfortable with a direct why question for now, you can start with something a little softer. For instance, I understand the problem is XYZ, but what you said earlier makes me think that you're thinking something different. Can you help me fill in some gaps? I think this approach is fine, but I do think it's worth it to get more comfortable with the direct route. At the end of the day, if you're asking questions that complete up the conversation, people won't care how you start. It's just about the impact at the end.